Okay everyone, we will try to delete record using GraphQL API. Before that, we know there are three directives for deleting a relation record. They are restrict, cascade, and set null. Let me explain one by one. The first one is restrict. It will deny any delete or update request if a record has relation to another record. Next, cascade. When you are using cascade directives and you make a change to a record in a table that has relation to another table, the related record will delete or be up to date. Last, set null. Using this directive, you are allowed to delete or update a record that relates to another. So when you update record that relates to another record, the related record will be up to date, but when you delete it, it will be filled as null. That's why the name is set null. Okay, let's try one by one the directives. So I have added some data in message table that is related to conversation table, and in schema we have set it as set null. Okay, try to delete record in GraphQL playground, but I will find records first to get the ID of the record. So first we will get the query to get message with the output ID, text, file, recipient with first name, then conversation with ID and name. So execute the query, and these are the records. So we have text hello with recipient Daniel in conversation A and etc. And then I like to find records in conversation table. So just like find record in message table, so query, conversations, and I like to have the ID, name, message with the ID, and text. Execute the query, and we get the records here. And let's go to the main point, that is delete record. So I like to delete record in conversation table. So mutation, delete conversation, and let's input the ID. And for the output, I like to have the ID, name, message. For the text, okay, let's copy the ID. For example, conversation A, paste it and execute the query. We just delete the conversation record, and let's execute again to find the conversation record, and we have missed the conversation A, but in message we get null here. Next we will try the second one, the directive, that is restrict. After that, save and rerun the schema. Okay, after that go back to GraphQL playground, and again we will copy first the ID in conversation and paste it in delete conversation, and we are not allowed to delete this ID because we have set the relation to restrict. And of course, this action is denied because the conversation has relation to message. So let's prove it in message table, and to make it easier, just keep two records, execute, and we still get the record of null. So let's keep three records, and this is the result. Then we will try the last directive, that is cascade directive. So go back again to schema, change the directive to cascade, Save change and rerun the project. Wait for a moment. And go back to GraphQL background. So copy the records ID you like to delete, but here actually I copy the same ID. After pasting the ID, don't forget to refresh first because we have changed the schema, that is change the directives. So we need to refresh as well the GraphQL background. Execute the query and I just delete the record in conversation. Then find records in conversation table and we have missed the conversation B. Next, let's see in message table, execute the query and we also miss the message that is related to conversation B. Okay, I think that's all. See you in the next video.